Hey there, it's Lauren. Thank you for joining me for another video. This one is gonna be all about cleansing balms. I like cleansing and I like cleansing balms, so I've quite a few of them, so I've gathered them all together and I'm gonna talk about them, share any sort of highlighty things about them, you know, break down, talk about their texture and sort of their uses, if they're better for like taking off makeup or being more of like a moisturizing, massaging type of experience. The entire neighborhood is barking right now, so I'm just gonna soldier on. But if we have a barking soundtrack, that's what's going on. So I'm sure Hoyt, my dog, will also chime in because he barks at everything as well as, anyways, I'm rambling. I'm just gonna get into it, and I'm gonna start with this guy. This is the Heimish All Clean Balm. This is my second one of these, at least, maybe third. And this is definitely a great first cleanse balm. It's probably gonna be hard to see like when they are this colored in there to like show off the texture. So I'll have like lots of inserts and whatnot. But this is a, I'd say a relatively reasonably priced first cleanse, and this, you put it on dry skin, you work it in, and the balm, which is really like kind of silky, almost icy, breaks down into an oil and just gets really slippy. And then you can add water and it really milks up, and it gets rid of all makeup, eye makeup, everything, like thick liquid lipsticks. You know, if I'm wearing like a full coverage foundation, it is something that I will reach for that. It has a really elongated ingredients list. It does have like shea butter and coconut and things like that. And then it does have quite a bit of essential oils that are like kind of on the citrus leaning side of things. So it has a very fresh scent. Getting distracted because Hoyt he's doing that thing where he like revs up, where he's just like, and it, you know, he's like working himself up to a big full bark. Anyways, it also has like tea tree and things like that. So it's really cleansing and calming. I don't find it to be stripping in any way, although it does take off all of my makeup, and it doesn't leave behind any sort of seeming residue, which is really nice. If you've tried the Farmacy All Clean Balm, the Farmacy Green Screen, it is very similar, and they have actually a rather similar ingredients list. I do know that this is a little bit like lower price. I've never owned them at the same time, so my memory serves me that they feel and they work very similarly. So maybe one day I will have them both at the same time to do a little side by side, but I've long used up my Green Clean. I keep wanting to say green screen because it's the similar name, but that's the sunscreen from Farmacy. They're very similar from what my recollection gives me. Moving on from there, this is the Jordan Samuel Skin After Show Cleansing Balm. This is one of his newer-ish items. Came out with this, I'd say, in the fall. This guy is good for, I'd say, both a first and second cleanse. This has definitely more of like that spun honey sort of balmy texture that definitely feels a little bit more like buttery, oily in a way. It's not so dense as a lot of other cleansing balms, or as like icy as other cleansing balms that I've seen. This is good for both, I'd say, taking off makeup as well as just being like a nice second cleanse. I believe it is olive oil based, and then it has things in it like squalene and cucumber. It has a very like fresh scent to it from the cucumber. You can definitely smell the cucumber. It's not like the what's the brand, Fresh cucumber cleanser, how that's kind of like almost like a stronger, like potent cucumber smell. Sorry, I just kind of like went like that at the camera. That might have been too much for you, but it's definitely there, and it's like very light and refreshing, and it kind of like mixes in with the olive scent. So it's really gentle. It does a good job of taking off makeup. I generally put this on dry skin and work it in, and because it has this really nice slip to it, it really gets very oily and really kind of like breaks down everything on your face. makeup, sunscreen, you know, you might have to work at getting everything off a little bit more as a massage than you would say something like this that kind of like, I feel like breaks down things super quickly. This still will break down everything, but it takes a little maneuvering, but in a good way. So it really kind of forces me to take a moment with my skin. And then usually I will like take like a warm cloth, or I'll do it before I get into the shower if I'm taking a night shower, and it just kind of like all washes away. Sometimes I'll get a little bit of water, warm water in my hands and work that in, and it'll make it a little bit more of like a milky milkiness. Also can be used in the morning if you want something a little bit more hydrating. It washes off, I'd say, pretty clean. It still leaves behind a bit of like something like some cleansing balms can, but in a really sort of nice, I can't really think of the word besides just sorry about the interruption. The mailman came, Hoyt freaked out, and now I am back. So I'm not sure where I left off about Jordan Samuel Skin, the After Show Balm Cleanser. This is really gentle. I remember from watching one of his talks or things like that, that he purposely left out anything that could be kind of like active or enzyme-y on there, so it could work really well in somebody's routine who's already using a lot of actives, so that wasn't something that they already had to like worry about, from what I vaguely remember. Anyways, now here is the Sunday Riley Blue Moon Tranquility Cleansing Balm. Now, this is actually a repurchase. I bought one of these like right around the time it launched back about 2 years ago. And then there was that scare that it was being discontinued. So like I snatched one up to have, because I remember being really into it. And I don't know if it's still being discontinued. It's still sold at a bunch of places, but yeah, so I finally cracked into this a while back. And I don't know if the formula of this has changed or if my preferences have changed. So I'm not entirely sure, but I remember this being a little bit more, like the texture of it was more effortless and like less granule. This feels much more granule. This is a sugar-based, it's a sugar-based cleansing balm that has a real emphasis on like being very like glowy and hydrating, and it's like it can be used to remove makeup, which it does like an okay job at removing makeup, but not if you're wearing much of something. It's not that great at it, and it's not good at removing eye makeup. But I still really enjoyed using this like in the morning if I wanted to make sure I was having a very moisturized, plump skin, because you know it has this very like humectant ness to it. So I would like that because it would get me all very, I'm like run on sentencing at this moment. Anyways, it's very moisturizing, and you can double up using it as a moisturizing mask. So that's what I would do. I would put it on dry skin, hang out, and then wash it off. So I kind of got like that double benefit of it, which also like helps when something is a higher priced item to sort of get more out of it. But as like I got back into like using this the second time, I didn't remember the texture of it being so granular, and like I wouldn't say that it's like exfoliating in any way, like it doesn't feel rough, but it's not as smooth as I remember. And it kind of, it smells, it has a very like sweet sugar, like cotton candy, like bubblegum scent that is still there, but yeah, it's not as awesome as I remembered it being. It's still really nice, and obviously I still use it, as you know, I spent money on it, but not like my favorite type of texture anymore. So now we have the Binu Cleansing Balm. This one looks like it's going to be very granule feeling, but is actually very, very smooth and silky, and kind of leans on that more oily side, similar to the Jordan Samuel. This guy is based in camellia oil, so it's very soothing, very moisturizing. Does have a little bit of rose clay, rose, lemon, and hibiscus in it, so it has a very like fresh floral scent. It does an okay job of removing makeup, not like an amazing one. So I mostly reached for this to be like a second cleanse or an AM cleanse. And I actually also like leaving this on my skin for a while before I wash it off and sort of utilize it like a mask, like the Sunday Riley one, because it is so moisturizing. Applying it, I can either apply it to, I find it works well on either wet or dry skin, and it works well if you want to do something that like works in more as a massage, because it has that very like moisture, like oil texture. Now this guy is kind of also a little bit purifying because it has the rose clay, but it doesn't feel stripping at all, and it actually washes off in a way that you are left with a bit of residue. So if you have maybe oily skin, or if that bothers you, it might be something that you would want to remove more with like a soft, warm washcloth. But personally, I kind of like that residue that's left behind, and it feels really nice. It smells really good. So yeah, this is an interesting company. Binu, I think they only mainly make is like soaps besides this guy. And those soaps look really cool. I haven't tried them, but yeah. The Darphin, this is the Darphin Aromatic Cleansing Balm with Rosewood. This has definitely more of like a thick, waxy consistency that kind of lends itself more on like a gel. This one you definitely want to use on a very fully dry face, and it does like a meh job at removing makeup, but it feels really nice. And because it has that like kind of gel consistency, it works really well if you want to really give yourself a face massage. You can see that's kind of a trend with me in cleansing balms. It's like a moment to rub my face, but it really spreads across, and as it spreads and you add a little bit of water, it gets rather milky. But you think because of this sort of almost like thicker gel consistency that it's never gonna wash away. But this is one of the cleanest, least residue leaving cleansing balm I think I've used, besides like the Heimish one that rinses really clean. This one, it like leaves behind, like your skin still feels really soft, but it feels like nothing is there. So if that's something that bothers you about some cleansing balms, this might be something to like look into, because it just like, it washes away really quickly. And it has a very unique scent because it has the rosewood in it. So it's like musky and woody and herbal at the same time. Yeah, musky and kind of deep and sultry smelling. Last but not least, I have the Mamiel Restorative Cleansing Balm. This is a pricey guy that I pull out in sort of special occasions, more indulgent ritual times that I want to have with my skincare. This guy is more of like a thicker consistency. It's looking a little bit oilier right now because it's quite warm in my house, but it is more of like that thicker sort of balm salve type of texture that you would see. And this guy a little bit goes a long way. It is based in camellia seed oil as well, and it has a mix of different, like really long list of ingredients of like different high quality stuff. It has things in there like, I believe, mango butter and kikuya, borage. It's got like moringa, marula, and I think carrot seed, amongst like a bunch of other stuff. So it's really nurturing, really densely packed with nice ingredients, and it has a very like uplifting, zesty, fresh, but also herbal scent to it. So Mamiel's whole line is definitely centered around this sort of ritualistic, and I'm gonna say indulgent again, sort of skincare self-love that has a very uplifting scent to it. So even just having this open right now is very like, ooh, smells really, really nice. This guy, again, it does an okay job of removing makeup, but because it is a pricier item, I never use it for that. I used it once or twice to see if it worked okay for doing that, but it's definitely more of something that I reach for as like a skin treat. It is very nourishing. Since it has that thicker texture, it definitely leaves behind more of a residue than most of these other ones. But at the same time, the residue is really, really nice, and is almost like I put on like a light oil and sort of that sort of feeling. Again, this one can be used as a mask, so it can be used as a hydrating mask beforehand. So I kind of like to sandwich that in some sort of like elongated routine to utilize that for this. Alrighty, I hope you guys enjoyed this collection rundown of the various cleansing balms I have in my collection. If you would like any more of these types of videos where I just kind of round up a type of thing and talk about them and how they are, let me know. I am gonna do one of these for like straight up like hero balms, but there's a few that are newer in my collection and I wanna get a little bit more experience with. So I didn't include some of those in this video that can also be utilized as a cleanser. There's a lot of balms out there that are like multi-purpose use that are more than just being a cleanser, which these ones seem to predominantly be. Anyways, if you enjoy this type of content from me, please subscribe and give it a like and leave any video suggestions down below. This was a video requested suggestion from months ago. A really long time ago, someone suggested I make a thing about all the different cleansing balms that I have tried, and here it is. So yeah, that's it. So I hope you're having a really good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.